Hi, the UKA Atheist here on a video about morality. As an atheist, I often get the question of morality and where does it come from, if not from God Almighty himself. So here I'm going to address this question by simply saying it is not a God or anything mystical or supernatural. It comes from us. Yes, that's right. We are the source of our own morality. It is through natural instinct, culture, and having to live in a society which has evolved from what it once was. This is why 2,000 years ago the sand-dwelling peasants who wrote the Bible found it perfectly okay to own slaves and severely beat them. Or how about the fact that it was perfectly fine to brutally murder by the act of stoning a child for the simple act of misbehaving? Now next I think is where it gets interesting. If there was a God and he gave us morality, then we would all have the same morals, which we clearly do not. Now here, theists could argue that God gave us free will nonsense. Well, that simply states we would still have the same morality and views, but have the ability to defy them, which is not the case. We all obviously have different views on what is moral and what is not, so God giving us morals simply cannot be true. Now the next thing I want to touch upon is for those theists who still cannot accept this. I will give you an example of why atheists actually have more moral high ground than theists. I have explained why morals simply cannot come from God. We hold our own morals. Immoral acts can only take place if the person committing these acts thinks that it is the right thing to do, and can justify them without feeling any remorse or guilt. I will give you an example. If you was to lie to someone, is this moral or immoral? Think about this for a minute. It all depends on the scenario and the person. If this person has lied about, say, cheating on his wife, this is a selfish act, and is harmful to the people around him, so this would be immoral. However, if you lived in the time of Hitler's reign, and you had a family of Jews hidden in your attic, the Nazis knocked on your door and asked if you were hiding any Jews, would it be immoral to lie and say no? Of course not. It's a selfless act, and you are literally saving the lives of a family. Next is where it gets interesting. The following is why atheists have a clear moral high ground over theists. A terrible act such as murder can never be justified in the mind of an atheist. It's an immoral act, it's selfish, cruel, and never justifiable. But to a theist, they believe their morality is coming from a higher source, which means whatever they think is immoral, their God may not. So the act of murder could easily be committed by a theist if they genuinely believe that their God or religion calls for it. Examples of this would be the lady in America who murdered her own 2 children before the so-called rapture to send them to heaven. This is why believing in such nonsense is dangerous. Another obvious example would be the 9/11 attacks. Believing in a God or a higher power enables you to do things that are immoral. So there you have it, a simple understanding of morality from an atheist. So next time a theist asks where your morality comes from, point them in the direction to this video. It will hopefully explain things simple enough for them to understand an atheist's point of view. P.S. If there are any other subjects you would like me to make a video about, please let me know in the comments section. Anyway, thank you for watching, and please don't forget to rate, comment and subscribe.